How did Clayton White sound when talking about the secondary? Because again, a lot like the wide receiver position offensively, I mean, it's no secret that's the biggest question mark of the defense and one of the biggest on this football team in South Carolina. In games, that's going to be the key for them. I think we'd both agree that in games where they struggle to generate that consistent pass rush, you're going to be very vulnerable at that spot. You're going to have guys, like you mentioned, step up. Obviously Cam Smith leading those, but all your transfers and just guys who are unproven. You're going to have to step up to the plate and play great football when you get in the grind of that SEC schedule. But how did Clayton White sound about it? Did he give you any indication of what the defensive game plan is? Because, Chris, one of my biggest questions has been, is South going to be more aggressive and maybe send an extra body or two and put their DBs on an island but risk trying to get to the quarterback? Or are they going to sit back, help their secondary, and just trust they can get there with 3 or 4? What did you pick up from Clayton White and his overall feelings on that?
Yeah, I tried to discern some of that, but it was difficult. I asked him about, was the game plan against Eastern, was it based upon something you see from them on tape? Obviously, there was a game in the books against Indiana State in week 0 for EIU. Or was it about just running your stuff? He said, hey, I'm treating this game like the Super Bowl. I'll focus on them. So I think they were really locked in on trying to do what they could to negate whatever they had seen on tape from them against Indiana State. But at the end of the day, both he and Coach Beamer talked about how down they were with numbers. I think they lost 5 guys from last year's roster in the secondary. So having to replace those guys was difficult. Some guys have played multiple positions back there in the secondary, but really, he spoke very fondly of Jalen Foster, Jalen Dickerson as well, the type of work they done. We saw David Spalding last night on a couple of different plays come up, make a tackle short of the line to gain on a pass, and then looking aggressive around the line of scrimmage, tackling on a run, tackling the ball carrier on a run. So I do think it's going to be a little bit of an Achilles heel back there, but at the same time, there are some things that you saw on tape now that lead you to believe there's some promise there too. So Coach Beamer did mention, he said, if there's 2 spots I'm worried about, it's probably at the linebacker spot in terms of depth, and in the secondary there with all the departures from last year and trying to get all those guys acclimated playing together in the secondary.